It's time to get creative as Hale.
Be strong.
Hey everybody, we are live. Welcome to Creative as Hale. As always, I'm your host here with my fabulous husband and co-host John Hale. And we are beyond thrilled tonight to chat with tonight's guest, our dear friend Suzan Tisdale. Let's see, let me get my graphics pulled up here. But of course, before we jump in, we need to take care of a little business first. So let's start with our Patreon subscribers. Let me find that here. I want to thank our Patreon subscribers. They have been a huge help in keeping this show going. They have helped purchase new equipment. With their help, we've been able to purchase things like a new boom mic for our mic here just recently. And with your continued support, we will work hard to bring you the best show, books, and other entertainment we can. You can support us for as little as $1. So if this is something you're interested in, please check us out at the address at the bottom of the graphic. You can also find the link in the show notes. The show notes are below if you're watching on YouTube, or they are above if you're watching on Facebook. And let's see, let's move that and go to the Rising Tide Network. All right. We're very proud that Creative as Hale is a part of the Rising Tide Network, our broadcast network, that is. Our fantastic group of shows are listed on the graphic. You can take a screenshot or check out the Rising Tide Network link in the show notes for more information. If you're looking for great entertainment and education, you'll find it in the Rising Tide. All right. And let's do a quick reminder about events. John and I will be at Big River Comic-Con on April 23rd and 24th in Hannibal, Missouri. We'll also be at Writers on the River in Peoria, Illinois on July 17th. Yay! We're glad to be back there. And as other events draw near, we will continue to share those with you. And we hope you'll come see us at these events following the current safety mandates, of course, and stop by our table and say hello. Now, without further ado, let's welcome our guest, Suzan Tisdale. Let me get her unmuted there. Here we go. Yay.
Hey.
Hello. We are so excited that you've joined us tonight, Suzan.
Well, thank you. I'm really honored to be here. Hi, John.
How are you?
And we've already got a few comments. Carlene says, hi, Amy and John. Michaela Jade says, hi, Amy and John.
Michaela is one of the sweetest young women. She just really is. Is she not just, she's like a little basket of kittens or something. She's just adorable.
Yeah, she really is. Carl says hi there. Oh, and Michaela says, welcome, Suzan. All right. All right, so we will jump right in and then we'll grab questions as they pop up on the screen. So our first question is always, tell us about yourself. Give us some background on who Suzan Tisdale is.
Well, first and foremost, I'm a USA Today Bestselling Author. I lost count how many books I have. I know it's over 25. To date, we've sold over 650,000 copies of those books. I know that was like last year's tally. I don't know what it is now. All my books are available in ebook, in print, and audiobook. I'm also known as the leader of the indie resistance because I got a really big mouth and I can't stand suckers, scammers, pirates, like our favorite Reverend Peckerhead.
Yes.
And ne'er-do-wells. And idiots and ridiculous trademarks and things like that. So I have a tendency to speak my mind, and I think I'm known for having my having a very loud mommy voice. So, yeah, but I'm married. Together, Kevin and I have 4 children. We've got 4 grandchildren, and they're all, of course, perfect. The grandchildren, not the children.
That's how it works. Yeah.
But yeah, I love being a grandma. I wish I could have started doing that first. I'm a much better grandmother than I was a mother, and yeah, life is good. Love to travel, love to cook, love to bake, but just love to write.
Yeah, awesome. I hear a lot of people say they're better grandparents than parents.
Oh yeah,
I expect maybe that's something I'll say one day as well.
Let's just say it's a lot more fun.
It definitely is, because you can send them home.
Well, that too. But I love it when Emily will look at the kids every now and then and say, "You realize this is not the woman who raised me, right?"
Very different person.
You would have beat me dead if I'd have said or done that. I know, but that was cute.
Just something different now.
Yeah. I love my grandbabies. I truly do. So I have no pets. I'm one of those rare authors. I have no pets unless you count my dust bunnies or the poodle-sized groundhogs that dwell in the backyard and call it home. And I don't own a single pair of yoga pants. So
I don't have the yoga pants either. You do have your Godzilla.
Yes, well, that's my son's. Okay, you can see Godzilla and the Transformer.
The Transformer. I hadn't seen that one yet.
Yeah, my son is there. Our house is it's in a perpetual state of construction, right? It's just never ending. So Michael, they were in the middle of doing something in Michael's room, and he ran out of room last year, and he said, "Look, can I put these things in your office?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I talk to him every now and then. I'll get a little, not necessarily writer's block, but I'll come up on a part. I'm like, hey guys, how does this sound?
Let me bounce this off you a minute.
Exactly. So yeah.
Carlene says, "Nice to meet you, Susan."
Nice to meet you.
Molly Daniel says, "Greetings, watching on the sly from the evening job." Don't get in trouble, Molly, but we're glad you're here. Rebels Unite, Susan. There we go.
Baby, that's right.
Let's see. Michaela said, "Laughing my A off. I say that to my aunt. I say things like, 'Wait, if it were me, I'd have been punished.' She said, 'We raised you. We're tired.'"
Exactly. Yeah. There are just only so many hills I'm willing to die on now at this age.
I died on those when I was young. I'm too old to worry about it now.
Exactly.
Hi from Sherry Holton. We're glad you're here, Sherry. Let's see. That's it for right now. So we're waiting on it. I'm sure we're going to get like a dump of comments before long.
That's fine.
Happen.
I'm not going anywhere yet.
So do you think, I know this is a common question, but I think it's just interesting. Do you think you were born a writer or storyteller, or did something specific spark your creative interest in words?
I think it was a combination of both. Okay. I was nobody believes this. Nobody believes this except the people who grew up with me. But as a child, even through high school and even after my first marriage, I was a horribly, painfully shy kid. And I didn't have very many friends. And so I would just create worlds in my mind when I was really little, where I wasn't so awkward. I wasn't so shy. I could, string an entire sentence together, and I had lots of friends. So I think that's where it began. And I come from a very, let's just say I didn't have Ward and June growing up. Okay.
Yeah.
Exact opposite of Ward and June. I don't know what the hell it was, but I was not Ward and June. But I had a very colorful upbringing. We'll just put it that way. My dad was a really, really good alcoholic. Thankfully, he doesn't drink anymore, and we have a great relationship. But like on my mom's side of the family, it's all musicians and artists and scientists and teachers and poets. And on my dad's side, it's primarily criminals. So
So you had a 50-50 chance.
It was a crapshoot, baby.
You could have been a creative criminal.
Exactly. But my dad is actually one of the finest storytellers that you will ever meet. My dad can tell you it, and he wouldn't write it. He would just tell it.
Yeah.
He could tell you a story, hand to God, that would make a grown man want to pee himself. Right? And he does it in such an unassuming, quiet way that you just sit there enthralled, and you're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And it's always a true story.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And you just sit there the whole time going, oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And then what happened? So I got the storytelling ability from him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But I started writing in high school, and it was all, spiral bound notebooks and ink pens and just constant. We didn't have, there was no such thing as a word processor, right? And the IBM Selectrics, I remember when our high school got those, that was just like, oh, because I learned to type, and I'm not that damn old, so no smart ass comments. But I did learn to type on manual typewriters because we were a small, poor school. That's all we had. But man, when those IBM Selectrics came in, whoo!
That was Christmas, wasn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, my dad's the same way. My dad, I think I got my storytelling abilities from my dad, which I'm actually planning on basing something creative soon on stories my dad told us as a kid, because he used to tell us he was a superhero.
Yeah.
And he would tell us all of his stories.
Yeah.
And then I think I got my ability to write from my mother because she was a poet and she was really good with words. So I think between the two, I was able to piece it together and make it work.
Mom was creative artistically. She didn't write or anything, but she was oh my God, the woman was a voracious reader. We would go to the library every 2 weeks, and she was like one of the few people they would allow to check out 30 books because they knew she'd finish them all and bring them back in 2 weeks. So I just read everything she read. So
oh
yeah,
wow,
huge
that's a lot of books in a short amount of time.
I'm telling you what, man, we could sit there and just go through them.
My mom was the same way. She loved to read. I think she had the whole Lord of the Rings set. I remember borrowing those and reading those from her. And she was an artist, so she painted.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then our family has some musical ability as well. So we had just all kinds of stuff thrown in our DNA.
Mm-hmm. There you go. My mom always read like Ed McBain and James Patterson, and it just all the murder mysteries and thrillers and Clancy and everything. I had never read. I tried to read a romance once, and I will not mention the author's name, but it's like everybody knows who she is. She's like worldwide famous. Mm-hmm. And I tried to read it, and I was so mad by the second chapter that I wanted to throw the book, because in the first chapter of the book, someone had been murdered, right? And within 2 weeks, they were the suspect had been arrested and was on trial in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Yeah.
In 2 weeks. I'm like, it doesn't happen that way. So,
it sure does not.
No. So I never picked up another romance book until Kevin gave me my first Kindle. So.
Oh, that's awesome. We got Sarah Cunningham.
There's all mysteries.
Hi, Susan. I met her at Riders on the River. And then she
hello.
said, hi,
I'll be there this year.
Oh yeah, me too. I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun.
Oh, I can't wait. And then I'm going to be in,
what was that? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say I'm going to be in South Dakota in June for the Wild and Deadwood reads.
Yeah.
Books.
Yeah. I've got that link. We'll post it in the comments so people can find that and find your Amazon in there too. Erin Bevan says you're making up for it now. Yeah. So
hello, Erin. I love you, darling. Erin's just one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet.
Ted Davies Archie says, Amy and John and Susan, good evening.
Evening, Ted.
Good evening. Hey, Ted. Willow Schuyler says, good evening. Let's see. Oh, now I'm getting the comment dump here, aren't I? Okay. Michaela Jade says, I want to know about editing. I am taking classes and honing my craft. How would you suggest to get into editing, or what places should I network with?
Not the person asked that question. Okay. So I don't necessarily self-edit, right? Here's my process. I write the book, and then I'm done, and I send it to my editor. Now, I used to think that I was what I call a dirty writer, and I don't mean sex, because sex isn't dirty unless you're doing it right. Meaning there were lots of mistakes and typos and everything else. And then Catherine Lynn said, no, you are not a dirty writer. You're one of the cleanest writers. I have to make very few changes to your work. So I'm blessed in that. But I hate editing, can't stand editing. I would suggest reaching out to an actual editor and asking them those questions, because I'm not your girl on that topic.
Yeah. I try to self-edit, as in while I'm writing, I catch myself picking at things, but then I try to stop because it takes me forever to finish anything.
Yeah.
So I'm the same way. I write it and send it to the editor.
Yeah. That's not to say that if I'm writing something, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's just not right, he wouldn't do that, I'll take it out.
Yeah.
But I don't go back and reread it.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
Unless I've stepped away from that story for a particular length of time for whatever reason. I just write it and I'm done, and I don't want to look at it again.
Yeah, after a while you kind of get tired of looking at some of that.
Yeah, and then Catherine Lynn will send it back, 4 or 6 weeks later, depending on the size of the book, and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta do this.
I have to read it again.
It's all changes. Look for comments. Okay, it's good.
Whatever. Like, let's see. Daniel said, I learned on a manual and was thrilled when I got an electric typewriter for college. Yeah. I learned on a manual as well. Kind of like learning a piano. When I took piano, the teacher had a real piano, and my mom had rented an electronic little keyboard.
Oh, okay.
It's different.
Yeah,
They
totally
feel,
different.
it's like kind of like with the typewriter, the keys are heavier, it takes more pressure. Same with a real piano.
Yeah.
When you switch to that, it's completely different. But
exactly.
I'm not complaining about my technology because I appreciate it very much.
Oh, and I'm a Mac girl. I love my Macs.
Same here.
Workhorses. Oh my gosh, my Mac laptop. I just had to buy a new one, and I wanted to cry, but it was 7 years old.
Wow, that's
problems. But it started to get really hot, and the fan would, every time I turned on, it'd be like, what? It's like,
oh yeah,
that way.
Hear it across the phone.
I burn through keyboards and have to take it in and get the keyboards replaced. So I started using these little rubber thingies, and that has helped. But I have literally
as well,
gone through to the wires underneath the little,
Wow. I haven't done that. I've worn the letters off, but I haven't been.
No, I have like, ooh, what the hell was that? Oh yeah, another end. Don't ask me what was the end, but it was always the end.
Willow Sky, at what age did you start getting into writing your own stories?
Well, if you mean actually physically writing them, it was probably junior high. That's when I actually started writing my own stories. But unlike probably any author that's watching this or any author that you know, I don't have one single rejection letter from one single publishing house, because I knew I had heard stories about how hard it was to get published, right? So I had at certain points in my life enough negativity and crap to deal with that I didn't want anybody else to tell me I sucked. So I never sent anything in. So I've just been indie published since day one. But it wasn't until, should I tell them my story? I mean, most people know my story.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I know there's some here that probably have not heard your story, and that was one of the questions anyway. So yeah.
Oh, Annabella. Oh, she's my girl. Annabella's my girl. Oh, Jolantha, I love you, darling. I do. I love Jolantha. She's just awesome. Okay. So mine is a Cinderella story, and I used to get in a lot of trouble for this, and I still get authors who get really, really pissed off at me. So I have always been a reader, always. In 2010, for my birthday, Kevin gave me a Kindle. And at first I'm like, I don't think so. I want my real book. And then I discovered that click here to buy, or the buy now feature. Oh, the one click. Like, oh,
and then Kevin was like, oh no.
Well, he tied the Kindle to his own credit card, right? And he comes back a month later with this really big deer in the headlight looks, and he look at his eye and he's like, do you know how much money you spent on books this month? And I'm like, I have a clue. It's on your credit card. It's $48. And I'm like, really not that much. He's like, you have to go on a book budget. So I think he allotted me like $10 for the month. And I'm like, and I was boohooing on Facebook, right? So someone on Facebook said, well, did you know Amazon has free and 99-cent books? And I'm like, oh, yes. So I went to Amazon and I'm scrolling through the free and 99-cent books, and I see one, and the cover was really pretty. Okay. But keep in mind, I've never read a romance novel in my entire life. Just have never. And it was a book by Lauren Wittig. And I can't remember. It was one of her first 3 books. And I can't remember the title right now. It escapes me. But it was free. And I thought, oh, Scottish Highlanders. Let's put this for poopies and giggles, right? She had me hooked in that very first paragraph. And before I realized it, 2 hours had passed, right?
There you go.
I'm just like, oh. And I was just hooked from that moment forward. So, you know, when you daydream, you think, okay, I'm going to write this book. And I always thought I would write like mysteries and thrillers and suspense. But as I started reading more and more Lauren Wittig novels, I got this idea in my head for this book, which ended up being Laiden's Daughter. So I thought, okay, I want to get Mom one of these because she's like addicted, right? She's just, books are her life. So I thought, I'm going to get her a Kindle, and wouldn't it be hilarious if when she turned the Kindle on for the first time, something I had written was on it. All right. So I'm getting up at 3:30 every morning to write Laiden's Daughter. Now, I keep in mind, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. Not one single solitary clue. But I'm getting up at 3:30 every morning to write. And Kevin thinks I'm up at 3:30 every morning to play Farmville. So at that time, we only had one computer in the house, and I thought I had it hidden, you know, away so he couldn't see it or anything. But he was I don't know what he was doing, but he found it. He said, hey, Susie, what is this? So I had to come clean. And I told him what my idea was. I said, now I think, I'm such a techie person, I think there's a cord that goes from the Kindle to the computer. And when I finish this book, I could just put it on the Kindle. Well, he came back a couple days later and said, there is no cord, but there's this thing called Kindle Direct Publishing. So what you do is you write the book and then you publish it, and then we'll just buy it and put it on Mom's Kindle. I'm like, oh, nobody's going to see it. So, okay, right? So I don't have an editor. I don't have a final proofer. I've got nothing. I mean, nothing and no one. So I finished writing Laiden's Daughter, and I go to upload it at Amazon. And it said, you know, like, dummy, you need a cover. And I'm like, oh, crap. So I photoshopped this it was a bad cover. It was just bad. So I photoshopped a cover together and published it. And that was December 10th of 2011. And my secret dream was, if I could sell 10 copies to people I'm not related to and don't know, I would feel like the world's biggest success. I would consider myself, you know, a writer, a hobby writer, but still a writer. Well, by February of, 2 months later, it was number 3 at Amazon. No editor, no final proofer, and a really crappy cover. And people are finding me on Facebook going, when's the next book out? When's the next book out? I'm like, shit, I gotta write another one. I'm like, okay, let's write another one. And seriously, did not have a stinking clue what I was doing. I made the mistake one day. I found some indie, I learned, okay, I guess I'm indie published. I don't know terms. I know nothing. I didn't know the difference between a developmental editor, a line editor, nothing. So there was this indie author group on Facebook, right? And so I went in and I asked, because again, I don't know nothing about nothing. I keep thinking Amazon's going to call me any day and say they want their money back, right? That this was a mistake, that my book really hasn't sold. So I went in and I asked, I said, okay, I'm a newbie author, just published my first book in December, and I'm selling an average about 500 copies a day. And they're like, you need to leave because we don't sell that many in a year. And I'm like, so
they're like, newbie my butt.
Yeah. So in April, I get this email from a guy named Chris who says he's with Kindle Direct Publishing, and he'd like to schedule a telephone call. And I'm like, I thought it was an author friend of mine pulling my leg. So I responded, the email response was, yeah, whatever, LOL. And then I replied back, no, really, seriously. And I responded with, oh, go bite me, bitch, or something stupid. And basically my phone rings, and I'm like, Seattle, Washington. I don't know anybody in Seattle. I picked it up. Hello, my name is Chris, whatever. And I am with Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing team. And I really do need to talk to you. And I'm like, you want your money back, don't you? He's like, no. I said, it's a mistake, isn't it? He's like, no, it's not. So I had my own Amazon rep from almost from the very beginning. And again, I thought everybody had one. So I was on a social media platform that shall remain nameless, because I gag every time I say the word. And they were talking about something, and I said, well, just call your rep. And they're like, rep, what are you talking about? I said, your KDP rep. And so my private messages start blowing up. Susan, you're the most successful dumb blonde I've ever met in my entire life. Not everybody has a Kindle rep. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean, it makes sense,
Again, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. So my story is not, it's the Cinderella story that does not happen that way for anybody. I don't know who else that it's happened to like that. I really don't. I just don't. So
I love the story though, because it's just like, if it can happen once, it can happen again.
Exactly.
And
like,
if you're really working hard, it'll eventually happen.
Exactly. But
myself.
Yeah, but things have changed. I miss the days of 2011, 2012, and 2013. Those were like the glory golden days, man.
Yeah.
God, I won't even begin to tell you how much money I made every month just off 3 books. It would just make you vomit. It was just a hell of a lot of money. And yeah, I was able to give up the day job and everything, but everything has changed so much. And I blame the scammers, primarily, the scammers and the stuffers. I blame Amazon. I just do, because if Kobo can detect plagiarizers, why can't Amazon?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I've been plagiarized more times than I care to admit to. Remember Copy Paste Chris?
Yes.
She got me
being a part
3
of
of my
that.
books.
Oh wow.
She got 3 of my books. But I just let Nora handle it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've noticed a common thing, it seems to be with a lot of the recently anyway, with people that have been plagiarizing, has been they're grabbing Nora every time. And I'm like,
Exactly.
People learn from past mistakes.
Exactly. But I just think that Amazon could take measures to stop the plagiarism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they could take measures to stop the stuffers and the scammers. They really, truly could. And they don't care. They just don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm on Jeff Bezos' shit list anyway, because whenever I have a problem and I can't get an answer, I just CC him. I can't do that. I don't know. Is the guy who's going to replace him, are we going to have his email, Jeff@Amazon.com?
Yeah, it's probably going to be like, no, don't share that.
Oh, what? No, that's public notice. Jeff@Amazon.com. You ever got a problem, authors? You just write Uncle Jeffy and tell him Susan sent you.
Yeah, there you go. That's
probably why my sales went down last year.
Oh goodness. But I love your story. I think, like I said, I know it's a Cinderella story, but I still love it.
But it's not like that with every book since then or anything. I do work very hard. I mean, there are days when I work 18-hour days for, weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And it's hard work, and this business is not for the faint of heart.
No.
You got to have chesticles, the size of, Bermuda in order to survive this job. You just, it's true. It's true.
It is true. Yeah. Have you not heard that term yet?
Oh, you heard term chesticles? Oh, we got t-shirts and everything. We do.
But if you went to everyone.
Criticism. Now, there's a difference between trolls
Yeah.
and constructive criticism. Trolls are just out to hurt. Okay.
Yeah.
Constructive criticism would be something like, you know what, the story has really good bones. Here's where I think you can improve it. Here's where I think it kind of, you might want to try this or whatever.
Yeah.
That's constructive criticism, and it comes from the heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But there are some people who cannot take it. And I don't do this anymore. People used to send me their books. They say, "Can you read it?" And it would be really awful, or it'd be really good. But they didn't want to. Those who wrote the really, and I mean bad, bad.
Yeah, I've been there.
They would get so upset because all they wanted to hear was that it was wonderful and it was going to sell 10 million copies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are people out there who think they can just write a book and put a $12.99 price tag on it, upload it to Amazon, and just sit back and rake in the money and live like Castle.
Yeah.
And it does not work that way. This is hard work. You got to put up with people who hate you because you're successful.
Yeah.
I got a lot of haters. You got to put up with the stuffers and the scammers and the pirates and all the other nonsense. And it's really hard sometimes to remember that that's all just noise.
Yeah.
And what really matters when you take away all the layers of crap, all that really matters are your readers and what they think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my goal, even today, even after I've written, over 30 books, but I've only published, I can't remember how many I've published. I'd have to count. But my goal with each book is always that it needs to be better than the last book I just published. So I'm always trying to improve my craft. I'm always digging deeper and even trying new methods. When I started, I was a pantser through and through. I thought plotting was for, idiots. I don't know. But I really had a negative opinion towards plotting. And then I took a workshop by Ann Perry at IndieTail one year, and it totally changed my life. And now I plot. I plot every single book. Now, does that mean I've spent 8 weeks outlining and, I plot each chapter? I don't plot like that. I know where the book starts. I know what the middle is, and I know what the end is. But I have to plot in order to keep the timing straight. Like, how much time has passed? This happens, in May, but then we fast forward to September and this happens. That type of thing. So I plot a little bit differently than most.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. We got a bunch more comments.
Oh, Gillette, there's no castle. What I meant, there's no castles, no castle authors. People, we don't. There are very few. I don't even know that James Patterson lives like Castle did.
No. That was definitely fiction at its best right there.
And then I was talking with someone the other day, and they made a really good point. Like on the Hallmark Channel, you'll get this a show on Hallmark, and the author has written one book, and it's just gone gangbusters, and now they're able to afford a mansion in the Hamptons and all the money in the world to remodel it. It doesn't happen that way. It just doesn't.
No, if it does, I don't know anybody that it's happened to.
No.
Nope. Everybody that's doing really, really well, like that kind of well, have been working at it for years.
Exactly. And who was I telling? I mentor a young man who's just absolutely one of the most well-spoken young men I've ever met in my entire life. I started mentoring him a couple weeks ago. But we actually had to have that conversation. And I explained to him it can take 40 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah. Like, easily. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to figure out how you're going to make a living until the writing career takes off.
Yep.
So, absolutely. And your first book will always suck. I don't care who you are. My first book sucked. It was a good story and everything. It had to have been a good story because it's so long copies. But it still was not. I'm much better now. And that, again, is my goal, just to get better and better and better.
Yeah, that's like from now to my first one. My plotting is tighter.
Oh
My
yeah.
technical proficiency is so much better.
Oh yeah. And my
I make
characters
sure
are better.
that I keep, perspectives straight now. Timelines are straight.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, because it's just, when you're excited, you're just going with it. And then,
Exactly.
yeah, you're just like, all right, here it is. Here's the whole story. Here's how it is. And then later, I go back here. Let's see, this will be my 6th year publishing.
Uh-huh.
So I go back and I read it and I'm like, oh God. Okay, well,
When I wrote this. Yeah.
we'll just keep going.
Exactly.
I like I
Exactly.
said, I like the story, but technically it just makes me like, so
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But Layden's Daughter will always hold a very,
oh yeah,
very special place in my heart because that's the book that started this entire journey.
yeah.
And I had printed off a copy, the manuscript, and I signed it. And I think I had it in a 3-ring binder, and I gave it to my mom. And I said, Mom, I wrote this book for you. It's Scottish historical romance. I said, don't worry, it's not a dirty book. There's no, whatever in it. And she looks at me and she said, you mean there's no lustful thrusting? Now keep in mind, the woman was over 70, right? And my daughter Emily was standing there and she wanted to die. She about choked to death on her coffee. And so I said, no, Mama, there's none of that in here. So I came back a week later and I said, so what did you think of it, Mom? And she said, well, it was really good, Susie. It was definitely not a Harlequin romance, but it definitely did need some more lustful thrusting.
I love it when people are just like dead honest with you, especially with your mom.
I love that woman. She was hilarious. Right before she passed away, a couple months before she passed away, we were at her house and we were all just sitting around talking. Of course, she can't hear. She kept forgetting to turn her hearing aid on or whatever. And she's in her little wheelchair. And all of a sudden she says, I'm going to write a book. And I said, okay. She said, an R-rated book. And I'm going to call it When I Was Young and Pretty. And I stepped right into it. I should have known better. I said, well, Mama, they don't call it R-rated. They call it erotica. And she looks at me and she goes, yes, it was.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so if anybody ever wonders where I get my dirty mind and my potty mouth from, it is definitely my mother.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
And then, so it was like my son was graduating 8th grade. And the week before he graduated, my mother took a really bad fall. I mean, her whole face, one whole side, it's green and purple and black and blue and swollen. But she was not going to miss Michael's 8th grade graduation. So I wheel her in a little wheelchair. And of course, we can't get in the bleachers or anything. So we're standing by the door watching. And a friend of mine, Damon, comes up and he said, I said, oh, Damon, this is my mom. This is a friend of ours, Damon. And Damon looked at her and he said, what in the hell happened to you? And Mom looks at him and deadpan goes, this? Sex injury.
Oh my gosh.
She was 70 some odd years old. It's like, oh, I can't take her anywhere. I just can't take her anywhere.
That's
but
funny.
I loved her. She's awesome.
I figure that'll be us when we're old. We'll be those old people you cannot take in public.
Oh, I'm already that old person.
Yeah. We ain't got far to go on that.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, so Michaela said she's going to be in Deadwood too. That's
cool. Yes.
Let's see. Melanie Martin says, hey, Miss Suze.
Hello. Oh, hey, Mrs.
Erin Bevan, hello, love. You're not so shy anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I got over that.
I fought that too for a long. Matter of fact, my first event we were at together, he had to like almost shove me out and make me talk to people. And now finally I've kind of come out of my shell a little bit.
Oh, you came out.
Sometimes he wants to put her back in.
Probably is like, how do I fit her back in the box?
Well, see, Kevin, my husband Kevin, has never got to go to really any of these events with me. And we did when I released like my 3rd, 4th book, maybe. We had this huge party out at the Bass Pro Shop. We rented a room and we had free food open to the public, sold copies, people brought copies. And I was because Kevin was there, he was very quiet and subdued, right? So he's retiring in June and I have to prepare him. now because he wants to go to these things. And I'm like, honey, I am not the same person. I will drive you nuts. So you just need to prepare for that event. And because I really am not, I'm different when I'm in public and when I'm, talking to people because I'm happy and we're having fun. I'm excited and everything. And at home, you're different at home. I tend to be more quiet and hide out in my gorgeous office. That's just right. And so he's got a little bit of a rude awakening coming to him.
Here comes Mrs. Hyde.
Yeah, here comes Mrs. Hyde. He's like, why do you love California so much? And it took him 3 days. It took him 3 days to figure out what I meant. And I said, because they deliver and bring snacks. And he's like, whatever. And it took him 3 days to figure out what they were delivering.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
That's fabulous though.
Poor John. He looks like he's just ready to call it a night.
He puts up with me, and
I do.
He does. And like I said, he's my constant companion at my events now, because we were able to go to one together, and he was like, you know what, this is fun. And I'm like, good, because I'm really nervous when you're not around. I need you. He's like my emotional support at all my events.
I wear a little vest, support vest.
Yes, there you go.
A little leash says emotional
little
support.
collar. And
I bet Amy's the kind of mom, though, when the kids were all at home, and if you had to leave for a weekend, you would prep all the meals and freeze them and label them with instructions and stuff. Were you that kind of mother?
Actually, no.
no.
I was there's
really
pizza in the freezer. You know how to use the oven.
I would throw down a bag of kibble and $100 bill with the phone number for pizza delivery.
Yeah.
I was that kind of mother.
When they were old enough to be left alone, a lot of times we'd just be like, okay, here's money, go get groceries or go get whatever.
Exactly. You got a car.
I'm not cleaning up before we leave, and I'm not cleaning up when I get home because I know you're not doing it.
This house better be spotless when I get back.
Yeah.
If you can't clean up a mess, don't make it. That's where I'm at.
Remember to take the foil off the TV dinner before you put it in the microwave.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a few mishaps there with learning how to use the microwave. So yeah.
Yes, Michael caught one on fire one day.
Yeah, Matt did the same thing. We went to the hospital to visit someone, and we got a frantic call from him. The microwave was smoking. And I was like, well, what did you do? He said, I was like, well, first get out of the house. Now tell me what you did. And he's like, well, I put the chicken nuggets in there. And he said, it said, 30 minutes. And I said, no, it did not say 30 minutes. Look at that again. He had put it in for 30 instead of 3. So they were black and charred. And it's like, okay.
I can't say anything because I did that with a pizza once. I accidentally punched in. It was supposed to be, I forget, like 5 minutes, and I punched in 50.
I mean, I've done it on accident before, but he actually thought it was supposed to be 30 minutes. I was like, son, reread the number.
We only put it in the oven for 30 minutes. Come on.
No, so he was willing to wait a long time for those chicken nuggets.
Right?
Oh, so Sarah Cunningham says, I will be there with a few authors. We're going as readers to Writers on the River. Yay!
Yay!
I'd like to see you. She said, I might be a Deadwood with Marie Hall author. That would be awesome.
I would like to go.
That'll be fun.
Is this the Deadwood?
Where is Deadwood at again? Is that
South Dakota? Deadwood, South Dakota. It's called
Deadwood.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So he's like, I don't even care if there's an event. I just want to go.
Oh yeah, I've never been. I'm really excited to see South Dakota. I'm going to take Emily and the grandkids, and we're going to go a few days early and sightsee and pan for gold and all that other
That
stuff.
would be fun.
Oh yeah.
That would be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Annabella Stone says, hi, all from Italy. Hi,
Yes.
Annabella.
Annabella's my girl.
Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Self-editing while writing is always a stumbling block for me, and I can't not do it. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm trying. I'm trying.
Well,
but
there comes a time when you just have to stop writing the damn book.
yeah.
I
I
mean-
mean, you gotta go. I'm done.
Just not. I can't look anymore. But I know I've met people who've been writing the same book for 6 years.
Yeah. I know somebody that's going on their 20th year. And I've told him, either, what's the saying? Crap or get off the pot. At this point,
Yes.
you need to do it. Just do it.
Exactly. There comes a time when you have to stop writing that one and move on to the next one.
Yeah. Let's see. Annabelle said she didn't know your story. Well, you got it now.
Now you got it now, Annabella. Don't hate me, honey.
Hello, sister. Oh, Teresa Dunn is with us. Hello, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Susan. Let's see. Molly Daniels. That happened during my first signing. If strangers liked my story, then I was on the right track.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you just learn. You learn as you go.
Yes.
Evan,
Erin, that's what they said in that Facebook group. Bet you need to leave.
How dare you be so
Help me. You don't need help.
Oh gosh. Let's see. Holy moly, that's awesome from Carolyn Young. And Annabelle agrees. Let's see. So Carolyn says, thanks for calling out scammers and pirates and all manner of people. Yes. I know that.
Have you seen the new one? Have you seen the new one where you paid them $100,000 to get on the New York Times bestsellers list?
Like they can actually, say that can happen, like they can guarantee it. I mean, I guess unless they're just buying their way on it, I assume.
Well, there is a lot of nepotism that goes on with the New York Times. I mean, the indie authors, it's not nepotism. For those rare few, like Susan Stoker makes it all the time, right? Yeah. But that's because of sales and skill and intelligent marketing and everything else. But then you have others who are on that same list who the only reason they're on it is because of their name.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I used to think that you had to have pictures of the editor of the New York Times screwing a goat in order to get on it.
I don't understand it, that's for sure. I mean, I looked at like, okay, how does this work? And
it's not based on sales except for the indie authors.
Yeah.
Those are the only. Exactly.
Yeah. I actually read an article a couple of days ago, I think it was, and somebody had said that the New York Times list is pretty much irrelevant at this point because they change it all the time. It's not actually based on sales, where Wall Street, USA Today are actually based on sales.
Yes.
But New York Times just keeps changing.
Yeah. But if I hit the New York Times, I'd be doing a freaking cartwheel.
Oh,
because that would just be phenomenal. But it would be totally based on sales. So, because they have different rules for indie authors than they do traditional, and I don't think that's
it's not right.
Fair.
It's not right.
No, life isn't fair, but it should be at least equitable.
I agree. I hear my dog doing something in the other room. Let's see. So Erin says in movies too, and Michaela's #chesticles. There you go. It's Dawn.
Oh, Jeffy, yes.
Okay.
Oh, Annabella, you were so right. Oh,
that's great. Sarah says, I have haters. I'm doing good. Hey,
that's
right. I mean, yeah. Joel, there's no castles. I know. It's so disappointing to find out that that's not true. Let's see. I might be a huge Tisdale fan. Don't tell Amy.
I won't. Your secret's safe with me, Sarah.
It's okay, Sarah. I'm happy to share. Oh, funny. So Annabella Stone, #pirates can walk the damn plank. Amen.
Exactly.
Amen. Let's see. Jackie says, hi, Amy. Jackie, just want to stop and say hi. We're glad you're here.
Hello, JC.
Let's see. Michaela, I grew up thinking I could write one book and be famous. Boy, was I wrong. Oh, you know what? I think we all at one point thought it might happen, but it's just.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's definitely. Melanie's right. It's a long game for sure.
A long game. Absolutely. Let's see. What did I? Oh, did I miss this? Okay. Yes, and this year Deadwood is Wild Bill Days, which brings like 40,000 people to town as well. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I just feel like I just missed some comments here, like it bounced around. Okay, so Melanie.
I think we have a lot of comments.
Let's see. Annabelle Stone. Let's see. Here we go. I think it's new. And you just said I was so nice, and I'm calling you a bitch.
Well, I'm your bitch, Erin.
I figure, as friends, you can call each other that.
Oh, I don't care what my enemies can call me anything they want to. I really don't care. They think it bothers me. Oh, some of the rumors I've heard.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
God. And I just sit there and I just laugh and laugh. Like, one of the recent rumors was the reason I wasn't on Facebook is because everybody in my house had been arrested because they found child porn on my computer.
Oh my gosh.
Ah.
Who even comes up with crap like that? That's just
I
nuts.
won't tell you because he loves the attention and he's not good
Oh,
for me anymore. So he can just,
yeah. There's just, it blows my mind. When
yeah, I just ignore it. You have to ignore it. It's just all noise. Noise.
Yeah. And you'll never get anywhere if you let it get in your head.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah. My friend Brian, I was talking about earlier, his wife Cookie travels to events with him, and we were at the same event together. And I sold out of a certain series like the first day, and it was a 3-day event.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to her and I was like, oh my God, Cookie, I can't believe it. I sold out of my Shadows trilogy. And she smiles at me and she goes, well, I'm so happy for you, bitch. And so then later I'm talking to Brian. I'm like, oh, Cookie called me a bitch. And he's like, what? I'm like, no. It was funny.
Yeah, I wear that title with pride.
There you go. Let's see. Michaela said, if I had 100,000, I wouldn't need to be on the bestseller list. No kidding. I mean, really?
I'd hire a full-time secretary to do all the marketing for me.
Yeah, I would be writing, and that would be it.
Exactly.
Let's see. Who the heck has $100,000 in pocket change lying around? I don't know, but I would like to get to know them if they do. We could be really friendly.
Exactly.
Oh, let's see. Molly said, I did my career in reverse. Paid publisher for the first 2 print books, then got small press publisher and was EPUB'd, now indie published, and got a job when the hubby quit paying for my promotion effort. So, whatever journey, however it gets you there, it gets you there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. Sorry, sorry my comment was doubled. Hope you're well and love your hair, Amy. Thank you.
It is cute. Your hair is very cute.
Thank you. I went and got it cut and got it permed, and I was like, okay, now all I got to do is dry it. And I'm done. I'm ready for the easy stuff.
Same with mine.
Yeah. So easy.
Kevin,
Cut and dry.
well, Kevin has this gorgeous head of curly, gorgeous, soft, and he just washes it and air dries it, and it's fine. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. You're just like, what? Yeah.
I had it at one time. I don't know where it went.
Molly said, my first romance hit number 3 on the ARE back in 2009.
Congratulations. That's awesome, Molly.
Yeah. What is the ARE?
Yeah.
It's not clicking for me.
All romance ebooks. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. Wow, that is really cool. Congratulations. That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, you guys, here's Susan's website down there. You need to go check it out. And let's grab a couple more questions here. So you have some series. You have on top of the 3 standalones. I was looking at your website earlier. You have the Clan McDougal.
Yeah, that's my first series. Yeah.
The Clan McDonough, which is 3 books. The Macintoshes and the McLarens, which is 4 books. The Clan Graham, which is 2 books. Let's see. The McCallans and the Randalls, which you have 1 book there. Michaela's has 2 books. And then there's Mariah's Heart with 2 books. So you have been a busy girl.
I have. Moira's Heart is actually one of my favorites. That was just a fun one to write. That's where I started using Catherine Lynn Davis as my editor. I'd never worked with her on anything before.
Yeah.
And I learned more about better writing on that novella than I had in all the books I'd written previously. I love my Clan McDonough series, my Caitlin's Wife series, as I call it, because the heroine in that series is actually the chief of her own clan. And she takes nothing off nobody. You want to talk about some chesticles? This girl's got them. So those are probably my 2 favorite series. And of course, the most recent. But I think my favorite standalone is probably The Edge of Forever. And that takes place in Tudor, Italy. And that's the one where I made my editor sob.
Oh.
It was August. I'll never forget this. This is when I knew I was an author. This is when I truly got rid of all self-doubt and the imposter syndrome and all that stuff. It just went flying out the window. I was having an issue with my phone, and I was in the Verizon parking lot. It was hotter than the hubs of hell. So I'm sitting in the car waiting for Kevin. I get the air conditioning going, and my phone rings, and it displays on the Bluetooth thingy, Catherine Lynn Davis. And so I answer it like I always do. And I said, "Hey, beautiful, how are you?" And all I hear, seriously, is sobbing, like uncontrollable. And I keep asking her, "Oh my God, Catherine, what's wrong? Is it Michael?" Because her husband had been sick. And I thought maybe Michael had died. And I mean, she can't breathe. She's crying so hard. And I said, "All right, I'm going to go home and I'm going to book a flight and I will be out to California just as soon as I possibly can. Email me, have someone call me to let me know what the hell's going on." I mean, just my mind was exploding. And then she finally said, "You bitch." And I'm like, "What did I do wrong?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, does she even realize she's talking to me?" Or whatever. And I said, "Honey, what is wrong?" And she said, "That epilogue." I just sent it to her that morning. We had the whole book, but I'd sent the epilogue last. And then I sent it to her that morning. And I said, "Oh my God, I went way over the top, didn't I? I need to rewrite that." And she said, "Don't you touch a word." And I'm like, I made a New York Times best-selling author bawl her eyes out. So it's like, yeah, I can write. I can write.
Yeah, that definitely.
I can do this.
So Michaela wants to know how much time you spend researching for your books.
0.
That was not the answer I expected.
All right. So I did research the hell out of The Edge of Forever because that was Italy. That was Tudor times. I used real people, but it was still a work of fiction. But I usually most of the research I did for Laiden's daughter it just carried through to all the other series. Really not a whole lot because once I have it in the brain, it's there, so I could just reuse it and pull it out for other books.
Yeah.
So very seldom, unless I've jumped a couple of decades and I want to double check, was David still king at this time or was it someone else? Yeah, not a lot. I'm bad.
It's good that you're retaining it,
It's yeah. So
yeah. So let's talk about your newest work. We've got a couple of covers here. Which one is your newest one, or are they both?
Lachlan's Heart. They're
Lachlan's Heart. Let me see if I can. There we go. You guys, let me get rid of this banner real quick because look at that gorgeous cover, you guys.
I actually have a serial killer in that book.
Do you really? I mean, it looks like something that should be hanging in an old castle.
You
like
can find Dar.
Masters. I mean, it's just gorgeous.
Isn't it beautiful? Dar does fabulous work. She really does. But yeah, that's the one I just released at the end of January. I loved writing that book because it does have a medieval serial killer. Of course, they don't call him a serial killer in the book because that term is very recent.
Yeah.
But he's roaming the streets of Inverness, killing former prostitutes.
Oh, so, like a medieval Jack the Ripper.
Exactly. And the heroine in this story, Kiva, is a former prostitute. So extrapolate from that what you will, ladies.
Yeah, there you go.
But that was a fun book. That really was a fun one to write. So
I'm looking forward to reading that one. And then here's the other one, Black Richard's Heart.
Yeah, Dark again.
When did that release?
February of 2020. Yeah. Okay. So I'm down to, I'm not releasing a lot of books, but I am writing a lot of books. Okay. Yeah. So this year I'm going to be releasing a hell of a lot more books than I did last year. So just
yeah. So you've got them prepped and ready to go. You just got to get the rest of it going.
Yeah. We'll go with that answer.
Yeah, that works.
That'll work.
I got so many books that are started. I just need to sit down and finish. But yeah, so I'm going to pull up you guys. If you haven't been to Writers on the River, I highly recommend you go. It's an amazing.
It is so much fun.
So much fun.
It is.
They have a picture up here. Is Suzan and I 2018, I think.
Yes, that was right after Cockygate, or right during.
Yes, it was. And here's where another reason I remember that, because John had just bought that belt buckle. It says cocky on it.
It said cocky on it, yes.
Yes. So,
the good old days.
So you guys definitely need to check that out. That is in
Jolantha. Is Jolantha going to be there this year?
I don't know. Are you going to be there?
On the river? Is she still here?
Maybe she'll hear an answer here.
Okay.
Michaela says, "Love that cover." Yeah, who doesn't? I mean, this is gorgeous.
Dar does really good work.
So cool, so cool. Let's see, what else did I have? Oh, I have something else that I wanted to. So I had the opportunity. So we're talking Highlanders and whatnot. Since we're talking Highlanders, I got the opportunity to meet the Highlander.
He is so pretty.
Oh, yes, he's very pretty. It was a little intimidating to be that close to him, actually.
Did he smell good?
He did. He smelled good. Yes.
Yep,
And
I heard that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes, I was able to send that to Susan because I knew she was a huge fan.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, it was funny because I was telling him, okay, make it out to Susan. And I spelled it out. And he kept saying, there's a Z in it. And he wanted to make sure he wasn't spelling it wrong. And it's like, yes, it's S-U-Z-A. And he's like, it's not S-U. No, it's S-U-Z. Okay.
Exactly. Mom wanted me to be unique. She just didn't know I'd carry it this far.
Hey, you got to run with it. Run with it.
Exactly.
So, let's see. We got some more comments now. Yes, Jolantha says,
Yay,
yes, I am. Yay. Okay, so Michaela said, Amy, that's so not fair. I have been blessed to meet some very cool people, including our guest tonight, Susan.
Thank you.
What, I really am blessed with some amazing people in my life.
It just amazes me that, like I've actually, and I don't want it to sound, I'm not being arrogant or anything, but right before, okay, so I love NINC, the NINC conference down in St. Petersburg. And I think it was the first time I went, I was actually having my very first pedicure ever, right? I'd never had a pedicure, but I'm like in this really nice hotel and I thought, oh, let's go get a pedicure. And I'm in this chair getting a pedicure and my phone rings. It's my daughter, Debbie, and she never called unless it was an emergency. She knew where I was at. Mm-hmm. And so I answered, and that's when I found out my mom was in the hospital on life support. So you want to talk about guilt? Oh,
yeah,
Florida.
Yeah.
I'm getting a pedicure, and my mother has been whisked to the hospital and is now on life support. So anyway, very long story short, got flights rearranged, and I couldn't leave until the following morning. But that was actually when I got to meet in person Catherine Lynn Davis for the first time. And she, oh my God, we are just like this because she helped me. That was the hardest thing to go through. But anyway, so we get on this elevator. And we go downstairs and we're going to go eat. And there were other people on the elevator. And so we find a table. And then this woman, I don't even know who she was, but she comes up to me and she said, so-and-so here is just dying to meet you. And I'm like, Catherine? They're like, yeah, you. And I'm like, why? She's like your biggest fan, and she writes because you, blah, blah, blah. So I got up and I gave her a hug. This girl was shaking. And that was just, to me, it was one of the weirdest things. It's like,
Yeah, it's a weird sensation.
It's weird. It's just weird.
I've had people come to the table and go like, I love your books. And I just, and like they could barely talk. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm a huge dork. So,
exactly.
Yeah, don't feel nervous at all. And then one person approached me and was like, I'm just like one of your biggest fans. I've got all your books. And she pulls them up on her phone and goes to prove to me that she's got them. And I'm like, oh, I just, you're so sweet. You don't have to prove it to me. I promise I believe you.
I believe you.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely different when you have that happen.
Different. Or when you're in the middle of the grocery store or Costco or somewhere. Are you Suzan Tisdale? Depends. Are you a hater or a lover?
Yeah. We need to talk first.
Yeah, but I've made so many great and awesome friends in this business. I mean,
Yeah.
Catherine Bybee, God bless America. I love her so much. She's just I can't even tell you 98% of the conversation she and I have because we'd probably get booted off here.
I have those kind of conversations too. Yeah, I get it.
Oh God, I love her. But yeah, I've made lots of friends. I love my readers. Absolutely, my God, do I love my readers.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Oh, yeah.
And so back to, I think, what we were talking about earlier, none of the other stuff matters. What matters is your readers.
Yeah.
What matters is the story, and are you, creating a story that your readers are going to love.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about, I mean, it's for them.
And I never write to market. I just can't. I couldn't write to market.
No, I can't either. It's half the time what the market stuff is doesn't interest me.
No,
I know that's going to show through in my writing. It's going to be obvious that I am bored to tears.
I don't write bodice rippers, right? I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got kidnappings. We dealt with rape in a couple of my books. Dealt with alcoholism. That's probably, I know, out of all the books I've written, that's the one I loved so much because it did deal with alcoholism. But in that book, I made my heroine the alcoholic.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I didn't pull any punches when she was going through, I call them the takeaways because it's medieval times, but today we would call those the DTs.
Yeah.
So I don't pull punches in my books. I really don't. I don't sugarcoat stuff.
Yeah.
And they're just not bodice rippers. And I like that about my writing. I want something that's compelling. And sometimes it's just a fun book. Sometimes it's all just, giggles and fun and laughter.
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes I deal with some really serious issues. So
yeah. And if you can deal with serious issues and keep it entertaining.
Yes.
That's talent right there. I really believe it. Let's see. Jolante says, I'm planning to be there next year if it doesn't get canceled. One of my events in September has postponed for next year already. Is that PenCon that you're talking about? As I know, we just got that notice too that PenCon got postponed, which I'm disappointed, but it's a huge event. I understand why they're doing it. And hopefully 2022, we're all going to be back to normal with this stuff. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Deb eating biscuits.
Annabella's Irish, so biscuits are cookies.
Yep, that works for me. Let's see. Michaela says, I met you, Suzan, in person for the first time at the Write Like a Pro conference.
Aww.
And 3 days later, I was bragging to my friends and family that you gave me a hug.
I'm a hugger. I can't help it. I tell you what, this whole 6 feet apart, that has been
difficult.
That's been a soul crusher because I am a hugger. Anybody who's ever met me knows I hug almost everybody. There's some people I wouldn't hug. I wouldn't hug Jeff Bezos. But I'm a hugger. I just am. And I love talking to people. And I love spending time with people. And I mean, it's genuine. I'm just tickled shitless to still be alive at this age.
And I'm the same way because I feel like every day that we get is another day to count our blessings.
Exactly.
And that conference was so good, and I hope that at some point in the future we'll be doing it again. But here's a picture.
2022. Yeah, that was so much fun. That was a lot of fun.
And it was. I'm serious, you guys. Like PenCon, I love because it's educational, but this was just like it was amazing. There was so much great stuff. It was hard for me to take it all in. As a matter of fact, I think Michaela and we were sharing a room. And if I remember right, we were like, okay, are you going to this one? I'm going to go to this one. We'll compare notes later because we can't be at the same one at the same time.
Well, for 2022, I plan on having each of the sessions recorded, not available live streamed or anything, so that you can go back later and watch them.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be great. Okay, so yes, she was talking about Penn. Yeah. And I miss hugs. Me too. I really do.
I don't know about you, Jolanthe, but next time I see you, darling, you're just getting a big old hug from me. COVID be damned.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna be like, people, can I hug you? Because I am
exactly. Are we hugging or between elbows? even have
Yeah,
those. Friggin'
absolutely.
COVID. I just hate.
I know, it's just so frustrating. Let's see. So we have been going an hour and 10 minutes already.
Oh
Wow.
wow,
Yeah, it goes by fast.
it does.
That's
Let's
what she
see.
said.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
got the innuendo going over here. Uh, let's see. So, what else do we got in our questions here? I think a few of them have been answered already. Quite a few, actually.
Yes, Jolene, I will make you hot ham salad and bring it. I will. For the next
Ham salad. There you go.
we will have hot ham salad. Yes.
Oh, okay. So we have some kind of fun questions here.
Okay.
What weird food combinations do you enjoy?
Okay. Peanut butter and tomato sandwiches. But the tomatoes have to be fresh from your garden. It cannot be a store-bought tomato. That was something my dad introduced me to years ago. I thought it looked disgusting, and it's just a little bit of heaven every time you take a bite. But it does have to be a fresh from the garden tomato, as my
Smooth and creamy or crunchy?
pardon?
On the peanut butter.
Red, juicy, ripe tomato.
No, smooth and creamy or
Smooth.
crunchy?
Smooth. It's got
Ah,
to
I think it would be weird with the peanuts and then the
Yeah.
peanuts. Be kind of strange. Janelle, hey, hello guys. Sorry I'm late, but work. We get it, honey.
I get it.
We get it. Yeah. Okay, so another fun one. If you could choose one mythical creature to be real, what would it be and why?
Dragons.
Yes. That's me too. I love dragons.
Then I could be the supreme, omnipotent, despotic ruler of the entire universe. And I'd make some changes. For instance, that's number one. Oh.
Yes, I'm the same way. As a matter of fact, I think I had asked Charles Millhouse that question, and he had said dragons so he could slay them. And
God, no.
And I was like, no.
No.
I was like, okay, I have to hide my dragons for you if this ever happens.
Exactly. You're not slaying
My babies.
I got a whole dragon series I want to write. I cannot wait to write it.
Yeah, my Havenwood Falls series, 3 of the 4 books are dragon shifters, and it's just I love it.
Mine aren't shifters. Mine the book I write takes place in ancient Wales.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Wales.
Mm.
Yeah. And the book that actually sparked that is called In the Echo of a Kiss. And that's the only paranormal I've ever written.
Oh, okay.
I love that book. Love it.
Yeah.
So that would spawn an entire dragon series. But not shifters, like real dragons.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. I'm hoping to make it in 2022. That would be amazing. Yay, that would be awesome.
That would be.
Okay, so let's see. What book or movie can you read or watch over and over without getting tired of it?
What book?
Yeah, book or movie.
Any of Julie Garwood's Scottish historical romance novels. I've read them all at least 8 times. I just devour those, and I've got them memorized, and I know what's coming, and I don't care.
Yeah.
As far as a movie, just one movie, like not a series of movies.
It could be a series, yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Rob Roy, love that one. If you'd ask TV series, it'd be Yellowstone and Longmire, hands down.
Oh yeah. Great. Yeah.
Because I've watched Longmire like 3 times now from start to finish, and I've watched Yellowstone 4 times start to finish, all the seasons. I can't wait for June. So yeah, but as far as a movie, watching it over and over again, anything pretty much John Wayne's in. The Cowboys, I love John Wayne. The Cowboys, love that one. The McClintocks, that one makes me bawl every time. Yeah, any John Wayne movie. So
I'm kind of that way with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love, of course, as a kid, I grew up with John Wayne and Sean Connery. My parents had these movies going all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to like anything with Sean Connery. I was like, oh, turn it on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Michaela says, oh my God, I love Julie Garwood. I do too. I've got a few books on the shelf.
I didn't know who she was until I started writing, right? And it was like my 2nd or 3rd book. I think it was with Wee Williams Woman. I started getting these reviews that said, she's almost as funny as Julie Garwood, right? And it was like, several. I'm like, who the hell's Julie Garwood? I didn't know who
Check
she
this
was.
out.
Never heard of Julie Garwood. So I went to Amazon and searched her. And I'm like, holy Mother Mary Josephine, you can't be serious. Look at all these books. Oh my God. So I started reading hers, and I'm like, thank you. That was the best compliment.
Nice compliment ever. Yeah. Annabella says, ooh, I'm reconsidering our friendship. Peanut butter and tomato.
It is so good. Oh, if you come here, Annabella, I'll make it for you. I will. And you will be a convert.
Start laughing. Let's see. Yes, John Wayne is my favorite. Yes, John Wayne is, he's definitely a favorite.
Yeah.
All right. So do you want to do some this or that? This is kind of your.
No. Well, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
All right. So John's going to jump into some this or that here.
I know this one already. Castles or cottages?
What?
Castles or cottages?
Can't I have one of each?
Castles
Castles and parties, and then when everybody's pissed me off, I go stay in a cottage. So yeah.
I guess if you can afford a castle, you can probably afford an extra cottage.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. I never can say it right, but the Downton Abbey.
Yes.
Oh my God, I could live there in a friggin' heartbeat. I would, because I wouldn't need a cottage because I could get lost.
Oh yeah, you just go to a different wing.
Yeah.
And see somebody a week later.
Exactly. I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
Ebook or paperback?
I don't care how you give me the story. You could literally write it on 500 rolls of toilet paper as long as it's a good story. I don't care. I really don't. Just give me a story.
Good one.
Most important in a partner, intelligent or funny?
Funny. Kevin's smart. He's
we
smart.
asked Terry that last week, and I think he said the same thing. He was like, "Well, I mean, if you're funny, it doesn't matter if you're stupid, right?"
Exactly. No, I think funny. Kevin makes me laugh seriously every single day, and I mean, it's just sometimes it's just a smart ass comment or whatever, but that's hilarious. But no, I think, yeah, because there's book smart,
Mm-hmm.
there's street smart.
Yeah.
I know some really stupid, highly educated people.
Yeah.
I think I was talking about this with Terry Mangert a few weeks ago. I said, if I had to be stranded on a desert island, I would rather be stranded with 1,000 illiterate rednecks than one elitist, right?
Oh, yes.
Because the rednecks one is going to be a hell of a lot more fun. Number two, they're going to figure out how to get you off that island. And
Yeah.
they know how to build stuff.
Yep.
The elitist, all they'll do is sit there and bitch about why it's your fault that you're stranded on this desert
And judge
island.
you for being there to begin with.
And no solutions. Exactly. And no solutions. So, yeah.
Yep.
It's
Absolutely.
Funny. Sense of humor.
Uh-huh.
Amusement park or a day at the beach?
Day at the beach, baby. Hands down.
Same.
Oh boy. Toilet paper, over or under? on the
Over.
roll? Yes.
Yes. Common sense prevails again.
Pen or pencil?
I actually do a lot of writing in pencil.
Coke or Pepsi?
Neither. I drink soda. I drink ginger ale occasionally,
There we go.
but I'd rather just have like a whiskey neat.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Soup or sandwich?
Oh, both. Especially if it's from Panera.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, don't make me choose.
It depends on the soup and it depends on the sandwich.
I'm with you there. Yeah.
Beer or wine?
Neither.
Okay.
Unless it's a Guinness. Does Guinness count as beer?
I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a wine drinker.
Yeah, that counts.
I like Guinness though.
If you could write a biography of somebody, who would it be? From any time?
Oh, that's a good question.
I've never thought of that. Ooh. So we'd like to get to actually sit down and talk to them about JFK. I would probably do JFK.
That would be an interesting one for
Yep.
sure. Yeah.
John Wayne or JFK or John Wayne, either one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either one of those would be great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see. Annabelle says, "Don't you dare."
That sandwich.
The
Oh,
sandwich. Oh, don't make her a sandwich.
She,
Yeah.
not coming now.
No, she's like, nope, not even gonna try.
Which kind of soda says whiskey?
Which one is so?
I
Yeah.
don't like soda. I used to drink Diet Coke a lot, but I can't do it anymore. It's just
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah.
So if I have to have soda, I hope it's ginger ale, or I'll just drink water.
Yeah. 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 Oh, look who just popped in.
Or
Miranda
coffee.
Lynn.
Coffee. Hi, Miranda.
Hey, Miranda.
Yeah, I prefer coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, coffee seems to be my
I've only had 2
Okay.
pots today.
well, I don't have that much, but
Oh my
I get a
kids
couple in the
know.
morning.
They're like the only thing that keeps Mom's heart beating is the coffee, and it'll probably still beat 3 weeks after she's dead.
Nice to be like, well, it's just when the coffee's out of her system, we'll go from there. Oh, well, we've gone through our questions and our comments.
This was fun. I hope we get to do this again.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you for having me.
And you guys, I'm going to post her links in the comments for Amazon, some of the events she's going to be at. So they'll be in the comments section here. And then let's see. Oh, we got someone else commenting here.
Coffee is my food group.
Coffee is
Oh,
my food group.
Natasha!
Yeah.
Baby. That's right. That's the most important food group, ain't it,
I
darling?
tell you what, it's survival is what it is.
It's the only thing that keeps me from throat punching people.
From hurting someone. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you again for joining us. It has been so much fun. I'm glad you were able to hang out with us tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing you at Riders on the River.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm just going to hug you and hug you and hug you and hug you.
Yeah, it would just be like, are Amy and Susan ever going to separate over there? I was like, no.
Yeah, we're joined now at the hip.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should, just for giggles, is get a really big pair of pants. A really big shirt. Just
waddle in with these pants and be like, we're literally joined at the hip.
I want to go that way. I want to go this way. Oh, that'd be a riot. That would be a riot. They wouldn't
Would
know.
be hilarious. We may have to plan some shenanigans.
Oh, yeah, I'm all for shenanigans. I love a good shenanigan.
Me too. Me too. All right. So we're gonna say goodnight, everybody. Let Susan get back to her busy schedule.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us. And we're gonna do a little outro, but if you'll hang around for just a minute, Susan, we'll chat afterwards.
Okay.
So we will be right back.
And thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciated it.
Thank you for joining us. It's been great.
It was awesome.
All right. Okay, guys. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. We're so glad you guys brought great questions, great comments. And of course, it's hard not to have fun when you got Susan around. So join us next week, same time, same place. We are going to have Christian Basil from The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. If you guys have not seen this show, it's fantastic. It's fun. If you like Doctor Who, you're going to love this. And Christian is a ball of laughs. And his podcast is also on Wizard World. So if you're a Wizard World fan, you're going to see some of his stuff. So I think we'll call it a night, guys. And we appreciate you so much for joining us. And we will see you next week at the same time. So with that, let me find my thing here. Okay. So with that, we'll say goodnight, everybody. Have a good one.
Be strong. Be strong.